one of my favorites.
And I would love you to as well. So
There we go.
welcome everyone.
All right, welcome. We're going to be going into a really fun topic today. One of my favorites. I know I said this last week, but it truthfully is one of our favorite things about traveling, and it's festivals.
Yes.
And we're talking about everything from massive bucket list festivals to those tiny little, events that are happening all around the world that you might not even know about.
And it's happened to us both that we missed out on a lot of very cool festivals to the point to we have even arrived like 2 hours after the event was done or the morning after. But at the same time, we have also caught a lot of really cool events just in time.
So basically, we have figured out exactly how you can attend all of the coolest festivals and not miss out on anything. And then also, not only that, but you're going to be able to actually plan your trips around festivals rather than, being reactive. We're helping you be proactive on the whole thing.
Yes. And in case you're wondering why we have a different backdrop today, we are at the beach in Argentina.
Yes.
We might show you, we will definitely show you more things about the beach, but not through this live, but rather through an Instagram. So you'll see more of that later. If you're watching from Instagram, just stay tuned because throughout the day, we're going to be posting more about this.
Yeah. Despite us having very hot beverages, it is also very, very hot out.
But we care about having a good setup, which involves controlling sound. So all windows are closed. So if you see that we start sweating, it's just normal. Also, we're having very hot beverages. So grab your tea, your coffee, or your mate if you're Argentinian, and let's dive into it. Before moving forward, we have someone message us on Instagram. His name is Lucas. He's a big fan of us from multiple years ago, and he's watching us live right now.
Oh.
So big hi for him.
Hi. All right. So first of all, why festivals? The reason that festivals can actually make your travels so much better is things like the Eiffel Tower and the Colosseum are amazing, right? But knock on wood, they shouldn't be going anywhere. So that means that festivals are one of those things that can't be replicated, right? Even though they happen maybe once a month, once a year, or something like that, those are the true things that are really connect you to a place and actually change your entire experience. From going to, oh my God, I loved Japan, to, wow, I went to this lantern festival and it was life-changing. I mean, I met so many locals and we got to understand their customs, and it really is one of the coolest things that you get to do. And so we actually do a lot of content, not as much on Instagram, but we're going to try to change that. But we have a lot of content on our website dedicated to going to different festivals around the world.
Yeah, and we're not saying you need to replace those like key spots like the Colosseum or the Eiffel Tower with festivals, but something we heard many years ago that we've put into practice and we can confirm, at least from our experience that it works, is you might not remember in a couple of decades where you've been. You might not remember even who you're with, but you will 100% remember how you felt in a place. And festivals have this wow factor because it's a lot of people putting a lot of effort into something that might last a couple of hours or maybe a day. And so they really go all in into trying to get this experience to make you feel as alive as possible. And that's why even if you see all the key points of a country, going to just one festival in the trip might be the difference between, oh yeah, we went to Europe last year, or last year we had the trip of our lives.
Oh my God, we went to this event in Slovenia and it was the coolest thing we ever went to. And I mean, that's like our experience with a lot of places, even, Bratislava, for example, beautiful city. We're walking around. We ended up doing this amazing music festival on a boat, and it was just life-changing. Now we think of Bratislava and we think of that experience. So that's pretty much why we think that everyone needs to experience festivals. And we're not talking about massive, massive festivals all the time. They don't need to be, electronic music festivals, but they could be, a small festival in a town that's going to help you connect with the place.
Definitely.
So let's jump into it.
How do we start?
Okay.
First, starting with festival, it's kind of like planning your trip. If you watched the live episode last week or the week before, we went through how to plan your trip step by step. And just like any good craft, you start with the first draft. And the first draft is you start with what you know, you start with what you have.
Exactly. You're going to start with your main list, right? Okay. So Maybe there are some bucket list events that you want to do, like you want to go to Oktoberfest in Germany, you want to go to Carnival in Brazil, you want to go to a lantern festival in Asia. And maybe you just have seen a few things that really kind of piqued your interest, but you don't really know all the details about them, right? So first you're gonna make your rough draft and just write down things that you've seen that you think are cool, right? So those are gonna be your primaries. Then you're gonna go into your basic research, right? This is step number 2. You're gonna be looking up articles specifically for celebrations and festivals. We have our own article that we've written. It's 55 different celebrations around the world. And we also have a calendar that we make each year where we put all of those events on the calendar for you to check out. And so you can look at our article. You could also look at other articles just to get some basic inspiration. Go through them and see which ones pique your interest, because all of them do. But obviously, you're definitely going to find some really cool things that maybe you didn't know about.
Yeah. So once you have this massive list and you did some research, now it's time to filter. In my mind, every time I talk about planning anything, whether it's a trip, I always imagine someone working like a craft artist working with a piece of marble, and like you're trying to get a statue out of it, right? But you start with a piece of marble, which is what you have, and then you start filtering, you start trimming, you start like giving it shape. So we're going to start giving it shape in 3 different ways. One is going to be by destination, right? You might see a lot of cool festivals. For example, we know that in 2026, Tomorrowland will happen in Thailand in December. So, yeah.
It's usually in Belgium, actually.
It's usually in Belgium. It's the first time it's going to be in Asia.
Wow.
So, for example, if you know that your trip, due to distance, due to time, whatever it is, your trip is going to be in Europe, all right, you know that you can filter that one out because it's for the trip you're going to do in Europe. So you start filtering by the destinations you think you can see in this run.
And another thing with the destinations is, let's say you have 1 week of vacation a year, right? And you're dying to go to Italy, right? Well, I promise you, there are a ton of festivals actually in Italy. So you can find so many different things. So you're going to first break it down to that destination, and you're going to look, okay, festivals in Italy. Obviously, that's a pretty broad search. You're going to get some of the top festivals. But that would be your first one. Now, let's say you're like, all right, I really need to go to Venice. I'm dying to go to Venice. So you can look up festivals in Venice. Step 2 is basically doing the time of the year. So let's say,
So you want to go to Spain?
No. Let's say you want to go during a certain month.
Oh, you just want to go.
You just want to go. I want to travel in October.
Yeah, or you work in school, so you know that you only have spring break, or you have like a certain like fixed dates that you want to go.
Exactly. So then you can look, but you know that you want to do some kind of cool activity, cool festival. Then you can start to look by time of year. We actually do monthly destination guides where we have the best places to travel in February, right? And a lot of those ones that we put on that list are because of specific activities that are happening in that month, particularly festivals, celebrations, and stuff like that. So, you can look at our guides, you can look at other people's guides. Obviously, there are a ton out there. But basically, you're looking for that time of year.
Totally.
And
so
then
the third one is it's a lot more subjective to each one because it's based on interests. It could be based on art, based on food, based on activities, sports that you like. For example, if you love art, going back to this sculpture example, if you like art, maybe Florence, Italy will be an incredible place for you to visit. If you love food, well, we have a long list for this, but for example, you can visit Greece, which is known as the top cuisine in the world. Yeah,
but of course, to find those, you're not just going to look up, festivals in Greece. You should actually be looking up, vegetarian festivals around the world. For example, you can look up electronic music festivals around the world, country music festivals around the world. For art, the list is endless, but you can really niche down. We saw a body piercing festival. There is everything that you can think of. People are so creative. You would actually be mind blown by some of the things that you can find out there. So take your interests and put them into local events, because maybe you weren't thinking of going to Vienna, but then you found out about this specific festival that is very niche and something that you're interested in. And then you make a trip out of it and you go to Vienna and you go to a lot of destinations around there.
Yeah. So now we have a rough outline, and we started trimming by our interest, by the destination, or the time of the year. So how do we move forward?
Okay, so now you have an idea of where you want to go and everything like that, but how are you going to find all of your information?
Yeah, sometimes you need a little inspo, or you need to like go a little deeper down the rabbit hole.
So we use the next one for inspiration and for information, and that's social media, and that can also be blogs. But on social media, you'll see actually that a lot of big creators will tend to go to specific festivals. And for example, in November, oh my God, we saw so many videos of the Lantern Festival in Thailand, and I was just dying, right? So I have that saved in my folder, or our folder for Thailand, and that's an event that obviously we know someday we're going to go to.
Yeah, it also helps if in case you wanna know if it's your vibe, right? Because like let's say you filter because you want to go to a food festival. So you read there's a wine and cheese festival in Tuscany, and you're like, oh my God, it's a life dream come true. And then you go on social media to try to figure this out, and then you see it's just like someone's backyard with like 3 food stalls, and it's just not what you expect. So you want to make sure, because you don't want to get there and put all this effort into planning a trip around a festival and then get disappointed, right? So social media really helps you with the visual and the look and feel of like what are you really gonna do.
Exactly. So you can get like more information. Also, sometimes you can just look up hashtags for festivals, and then you'll see like maybe you saw a certain festival was posted in March. There's a good chance that next March they're also going to have that festival.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead and start to do a little bit more research about it. Obviously, social media can be used in a million ways when it comes to that, whether it's through hashtags or your local creators, right? So if I want to find unique festivals that are going on in a certain destination, like we'll probably go to a creator that we know that always posts about that same place.
Yeah.
For example, Asa Steiners. She's from Iceland, and obviously she does a ton of content about Iceland. So obviously, if I go on her page and I'm trying to look up unique things on Iceland, chances are I'm going to find the local activities.
Exactly. Yeah, it's important to understand social media because sometimes it sounds like we're giving advice against our own company. But I think there are categories for everything. The way we work at Scratch Your Mapa, we try to be a one-stop shop for travelers who want to travel more, travel better, travel cheaper. So we're going to give you destination guides on social media and our website we have around 80 countries-ish at the moment. So we're going to give you like a rough idea of things you can do. We focus on bucket list activities and avoiding FOMO. But then when you want to go to a specific spot, maybe you'll get the outline from us. Maybe you'll learn how to plan your trip through us. Maybe we can help you plan your trip. But then for specific things, if you want extra things, go to the local ones, because that's what we do too.
Exactly.
Like, we go to the
Buenos
places.
Aires in New York, like we got you.
Exactly. We are as locals as we can get. But when we go to other places, we also do our own research in advance with the local creators. Then we get to the place, we gather the information ourselves, we compare, and only then, after we have validated everything, we give it to you. That's why also if you go to our website, you'll notice that in 90% of the pictures, we are in them, because we're going to show that.
Yeah.
We walk the walk.
I mean, a lot of blogs out there, they might be roundups where, a random writer who's never even been to these celebrations has written about it. And that's not really going to be what you want to look for. You really do want to look for people who are either A, from there, or B, who travel and actually are experiencing these things, because they're the ones who are going to give the details that the main websites are not going to tell you.
Yeah.
And that's why we do a lot of our guides.
So the social validation, I would go to social media. Now, before you finish trimming your piece of marble, and this is something we talked about last week when it comes to visas as well, look for government website. This is from tourism boards, from local government, from the town you're going to, maybe the neighborhood you're going to, like the city, depending on where you're going. Because a lot of times you're going to get validation on whether the event exists or not. And maybe you'll find some other things.
Yeah, you'll also find things that you didn't even know existed, right? We have a few of our go-to websites when it comes to Buenos Aires, because we live here almost half the year, and it's always during different months. So we know exactly the sites to go to, where we know exactly how to find these events. And
in between you and I, we've been auditing a few websites because there are some that are claimed to be, the go-to, and the information is fake. We've been to multiple events that didn't exist, and
We're about to be the go-to. Just wait.
Yeah, it's a very there's some very reputable websites that are about to take a hit because their information is not correct.
But we go to all the events in Buenos Aires. Though the longest salami in Argentina.
It's salami that was almost 400 meters or 1,200 feet long.
Yeah,
Just
we've
one
gone
salami.
to wine festivals. I mean, the thing is, when you go to a tourism board, you can actually see that there are things going on pretty much every weekend.
Yeah.
Obviously, in bigger cities, not in smaller cities, maybe you have to travel a little bit further to find them. But
Yeah.
any country that you go to, you're going to find really cool events. Even
Yeah.
when we were in Eswatini, I mean, remember that we met locals and we went out with them and they were telling us about the biggest braai in Eswatini. And
Braai is the equivalent of a barbecue for those who haven't. It's a very traditional kind of meal in South Africa, Eswatini, in the south of Africa.
oh my
And
God.
it's just,
And it was like their biggest event of the year. And we were like, wow, now we have to come back to Eswatini for that. And then obviously, if we had been proactive, like we're trying to help you be, we would have known about that and we would have shifted a little bit. And that's where we get into our final step, which is to double check your dates and also to be flexible, right?
yeah. There's a very good example about something that happened to us.
Exactly, which we'll get into in a second. But something that you want to know is a lot of things aren't the same day every year. Okay, yeah, obviously Independence Day is going to be every year. Christmas is the same day every year. New Year's is the same day every year. However, there are a lot of things that work on religious calendars, lunar calendars. So they're constantly changing every year.
Yeah.
Carnival might be in February one year and the next it might be in March.
Even the Chinese New Year changes every year because it's aligned with the lunar calendar.
Exactly. So, I mean, you never want to assume dates. And then also you want to be double checking multiple sources because sometimes people screw up the dates, unfortunately. And AI doesn't always know the dates either. We talked a little bit about AI.
We're not going to ramble on about AI today.
Yeah, you can go into our previous episodes to learn about why AI can obviously screw you over for your plans. But for event-based things, it's so important that you're going to official sources. Go to the tourism website, go to local creators, go to at least like 3 or 4 different sources, and then you're actually going to have all of the real details that you need. And then flexibility is key for 2 reasons, right? One, for safety, no, not safety, but for
to make sure you make it there on time and like you don't miss out.
Yeah, basically, let's say you plan to get somewhere the day of or the day before, and then your flight gets delayed or canceled. Like you might miss the entire festival. So you want to give yourself a little bit of a buffer when you're booking these events and booking your trips, but also because there are pre-celebrations and a lot of things happen not exactly on the day of. And this happened to us, was it last year? 2 years ago.
2 years ago, because you might think an event is one day, but maybe that's the main event, but the event is like a week long or 2 weeks long. When you get there, everyone seems to have been enjoying the place for multiple days. And
They're
you're like, wait.
Oh my God, did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this? We're like, no, we just got here. We thought it was just today. And they're like,
So,
no.
What happened to us 2 years ago?
Yeah. Okay, so we went to Oaxaca for Dia de los Muertos. Amazing. Highly, highly, highly recommend. You guys have to do it. It is one of the best festivals in the world.
Yes.
But we were kind of tight in our schedule and we arrived there the first. Now, we also had a whole quilombo. Oh my God, that's the word in Spanish. But we had like a whole disaster of a situation because we got there on the first and then our Verbo or our apartment was fake. So then we missed part of our day because we had to find a place to stay. But anyway, we then found out from a lot of digital nomads that were living there. They're like, no, you guys.
You need to arrive like 4 or 5 days prior. Like this is much longer than just one day.
Yeah, they're like, everyone says Dia de los Muertos is November 1st, but actually it's the whole week before that they have so many things going on. So we obviously learned that the hard way. And now, after years of going to different festivals and learning about all this stuff, we are able to hopefully help you make sure that you don't have FOMO and you don't miss out on these awesome events.
Yes. So we did learn. So next time we go to the Los Muertos in Oaxaca,
we're going back.
At least a week before, maybe 10 days, just to be safe.
Yeah, we also really hope that everyone in Mexico is safe right now. We did just talk to one of our friends in Guadalajara, and it seems like it's getting better.
We have a comment from Shanina who's saying, lovely that we're at the beach. She sends hi from our office. Trust us, as good as it is to be able to travel, sometimes we're traveling, but we're inside working all day, as it is today.
Not all day. We always enjoy as well.
Yeah, it's important to find balance.
Yeah.
So this was kind of like to give you the general idea, because there's no golden formula, right? There's no one secret formula that will guarantee that you're going to do everything. So all we can give you are the tools that we have found over the years that work in any scenario. We don't just want to give you a formula that works if you go into Italy in June. No, we want to give you a formula that whatever in the world, whenever you want to go, that you can maximize the amount. Obviously, there's always going to be something that you're going to miss out on. There's always going to be something that...
Which gives you a reason to go back at least.
Exactly. But a lot of times, even if you do everything right, maybe the company who's organizing the event is really bad with marketing, so they're not promoting it enough, so you won't find a chance to find it.
Yeah. So we use this 6-step process.
Yes.
This will almost guarantee you that you are going to be able to really start enjoying some amazing events around the world. There are also some smaller local events that when you're traveling, maybe you're not going to go somewhere for them. But for example, like we're at the beach right now and we're like, okay, what can we do? Now, most people will just come to the beach and they'll
just chill at the beach.
Chill at the beach, which there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want to do, cool. But Fedda's mom asks us, okay, so what are we doing? Because she knows that I always look for local events. So today we are going to a DJ set in a library. Tomorrow we're going to be doing yoga on the beach.
Thursday, very exciting for me. We're gonna watch a movie at the beach. There's a free movie play. They're gonna play Harry Potter 1, which my sister, who's 20, has never seen it, and she's very excited to watch it for the first time.
I don't watch movies and I've seen it.
Wow,
crazy. But yeah, so these are like the smaller events, right? That you're not going to say, oh my God, I need to go to Pinamar to go watch Harry Potter on the beach. But when you're here, you want to make sure that you're seeing and experiencing all these things. So that's what we're going to be diving into next week, to make sure that you're making the most of where you go and finding about those local events that are happening, and that you're able to make your itinerary around doing some of those cool things and finding them.
Yeah, so because it is hard. So we're going to help you find events while traveling and not just while planning. If you're new to this, if this is the first time you're joining us in 1 Hour Live, we're going live every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern or 2 p.m. Argentina. We're going live on YouTube and on Instagram as well. If you want more information about each topic that we're covering each week, for each topic, we're going to go live on YouTube, where you can ask us any questions, and the idea is to have a conversation live. We also have a blog on our website that's going to go deeper into every step of every live that we go. And we also have a podcast called Travel Buddies, where we have two of our good friends talk about this topic for 10 to 15 minutes, but it's a conversation. It's not one of those podcasts where you hear, once upon a time, there was... No, this is a quick conversation, 10, 15 minutes that you can listen in your car on the way to work. You can listen while you're working out, while you're showering, just to have an idea of how to work. We have almost 800 episodes on the podcast right now. So whether you like to read, whether you like to listen, or you like to watch video, or have a conversation live, yes. All the information about all these channels are going to be in the YouTube description. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see it now. If you're watching on Instagram, you can either message us. We're going to DM all the information, or you can just go on our YouTube and find it. And we're going to be here again every week, because we want to keep sharing with you all the knowledge we know for free. Our idea is to help you become a better traveler who travels more, who travels cheaper, and who travels happier.
Exactly. All right. Well, thanks for coming, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye. All right.